Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Rethinking the response to rural wildfires. It's happening in Comal County after a wildfire disaster declaration. How firefighters there are staying ready for the worst. Plus, despite water restrictions here in San Antonio, neighbors on the north side say it took SAWS months to deal with a leak. What SAWS is now saying about that fix. And caught on camera, a mother desperate to save her baby girl runs to her neighbor for help. We'll show you what happened. But first, new tonight, San Antonio police have arrested the father of a 3-year-old found with a handgun at school. Police say the 35-year-old man is now facing child endangerment charges. We're not naming that father, though, in an effort to not identify the child. This all started this morning at a pre-K 4SA West Education Center campus on Enrique Barrera Parkway. A teacher found the handgun in the 3-year-old's backpack and notified campus security. In a statement, Pre-K 4SA says the child did not know that gun was in the backpack. The gun was not fired. No one was hurt here. But tonight, that child is in the care of Child Protective Services. SAPD says it's possible more arrests and more charges could be coming. Pre-K 4SA says backpacks will not be allowed on its campuses, at least temporarily. Parents are asked to bring their child's things in a clear Ziploc bag for now. Tonight, 75% of Texas is under a wildfire disaster declaration. That means resources, manpower, equipment. It's all on standby and ready to respond. Take a look at this. This is how dangerous conditions are right now. This is called the KBD index. It's used to rate the fire potential. It goes from 0 to 800. And right now, Bexar County and surrounding areas, we're in the red. With more dry brush and less access to water, rural communities are in harm's way. The Night Team's Patty Santos with the warning from firefighters.
Firefighters say a grass fire like this could quickly become a wildfire disaster given the current conditions. It's
just gotten constantly drier. The humidity's gotten lower. Wind speeds right now have definitely picked up and it's causing more of an issue with fires.
Bulverde, Spring Branch Fire and EMS teaming up with other rural communities to prevent fires from getting out of control.
And so we're always constantly thinking about what units we can send and getting that manpower out there to take care of it.
Now, even adding equipment often found in more wildfire-prone areas.
With the increased demand of wildfires here, we've upgraded our fleet to include more brush trucks.
This is a closer look at the problem. All of this is dry vegetation. It's basically fuel for a fire, and it goes on and on for miles. And right in the middle of all of that are new homes.
So a lot of people do not know what to expect when it comes to wildfires out here.
Fire is extremely hard to control, especially under these conditions.
Emergency Management Coordinator for Kirk County, William Thomas, says it's critical to make people understand why this area faces a real threat for a potential disaster.
Like I said, the high heat is probably, and the high winds are probably the biggest driving factor. They tend to dry the ground out really bad, really quick. And they'll push a fire extremely fast.
The conditions are also putting a strain on firefighters' health and their drills.
This year we've been put on water restrictions, and so it's a lot more tougher on the department to try to train.
Pray for rain. That's the only thing I can suggest right now. It's disaster all over the state of Texas.
Now, in Comal County, people doing things like welding, grinding, or other hot work need a permit from the fire marshal. There's a no burn ban in many of our counties. And here's what we can do, all of us, to prevent fires. Properly dispose of cigarettes and matches. Don't park recently driven cars on dry grass, and don't mow dry grass.
And a few other tips as well, Patty. If you have a trailer that you're towing behind a truck or a vehicle, really secure those chains so they're not knocking down on the roadway and causing sparks. And if you have a barbecue pit or you like to smoke some meat, be extra cautious, especially if that's on a trailer and it's mobile. Anyway, taking a look at the fire danger across the state, a good chunk of Texas in the very high fire danger category for tomorrow, even locally high to very high category because of the dry conditions, low afternoon humidity, and gusty afternoon winds. The radar right now, authority radar, showing a few showers have popped up just north of Brackettville. We had a few more earlier today from the weak cold front moving in. We'll look at how much rain fell and a shift in our weather pattern in the days ahead that could introduce more rain chances. I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, at least some rain somewhere. Nice to see. Thanks, Adam. San Antonio will be looking for a new poet laureate. That's after the current title holder's contract was terminated over a controversial poem posted to social media. In a statement, the city said in part, quote, "The city of San Antonio's poet laureate is to uphold these values, which include denouncing racism, among other oppressive barriers, while using creative poetic expressions to unite our community." Neftali De Leon recently posted a poem contrary to the city's values and the role of a city poet laureate. As a result, Mr. De Leon's contract with the city of San Antonio has been terminated, end quote. The Department of Arts and Culture will announce a new window to nominate a poet laureate sometime in November. Coronavirus cases in Bexar County on the uptick since the 4th of July weekend. Metro Health has reported a 270% increase in weekly cases since the beginning of July and 1,600 new cases in the last week alone. Hospitalizations, though, those remain low. The strain seen in most of these new cases is called EG.5. It's similar to past variants. Metro Health says San Antonio is not alone in this spike. It's a summer trend across the country, and the heat might have something to do with it.
An increase in traveling, crowds gathering indoors, especially now with the heat and people want to be inside.
An updated version of the COVID booster that fights new variants is expected to be available sometime this fall. A man is in jail suspected of stealing around 1,100 pieces of jewelry, some of them worth $1 million alone. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say that Julian Puente and another suspect were contractors who targeted dozens of people and used their job as a front to look around neighborhoods. If you think you might have been a victim in this case, you're encouraged to call the BCSO number 210-335-6000. After introducing what could be the 2024 San Antonio city budget last week, city leaders are asking for your input on that plan before they vote on it. The city is hosting town hall events through the end of the month all over San Antonio. It's a chance for people to ask questions or comment on the budget proposal. Between now and Saturday, there will be 4 of those town halls. The 3 on your screen are happening tomorrow and Thursday night. Head to KSAT.com for the full list and those locations. The death toll in the Maui wildfires has now climbed. 101 people have been killed as a result. Hawaii's governor says that number could double as rescue crews continue to search for those who are still unaccounted for. Almost all the buildings destroyed in Maui were homes in the historic town of Lahaina. People there say they never heard evacuation sirens, something Hawaiian emergency officials are now investigating. Now, federal and state aid is on the ground, helping as many survivors as they can. And some of that help will be coming from San Antonio, too. Hawaiians in the Alamo City are making an effort to help people back home. Hawaii native Melina Lee owns Sweet Grace Bakery. Her one-woman operation, it's small, but still she plans to donate 2% of her profits for the remainder of the year to the recovery efforts in Maui. Lee says she was inspired by the help that her family received after they were affected by flooding.
The entire state came together and raised money and did everything they could to make sure that we were taken care of. And so I feel like it's just our duty to do the same thing for Maui because we're a big family.
Lee is also raffling off one of her cakes. Those tickets are $2 each. She says 100% of those donations will go directly to the Hawaii Community Foundation. There was a link to buy those raffle tickets right now on KSAT.com. Several of the dogs rescued from a Bexar County puppy mill are ready to be adopted. These are some of those 60 dogs that were seized from an 80-year-old man's home back on August 3rd in southwest Bexar County. The county says several area rescue groups stepped up to take some of those dogs. About a dozen are at the county's animal facility in Kirby right now. Is your water bill higher than usual? Might want to check for a leak, and the heat might be to blame. Plumbers say they're getting more calls than usual from people seeing those high water bills. The culprit is often a leak. The soil is so dry from this summer heat, and then you add in heavy water demand, and that can cause your pipes to shift or crack.
Especially older PVC that might have become a little bit more brittle, and now when that pressure, the ground pressure is pushing on them in different ways, they have a tendency to crack at their weakest point.
If you find a soggy spot in your yard or your water bill is unusually high, might be time to call a plumber. Meantime, a water leak reported for months with no response. Neighbors tell KSAT 12 they had yet to see crews until this week. The situation the San Antonio water system says it is now facing with those repairs. Plus, a life or death scenario near Houston, the desperate move one mother made to save her daughter's life. Some terrifying moments for a mother, all caught on camera. This is happening in Porter, just north of Houston. The woman ran to her neighbor's house for help with her choking baby. That mom knew which house to go to because she'd seen her neighbor in an EMS uniform.
She immediately just handed me the child. So I'm sitting there going like this, trying to, okay, what do I do? You know, what's the number to 911? Oh, wait.
That's Eric Watson. He's a paramedic and says he was able to clear that baby's airway. She's expected to be fine. There's even a San Antonio tie to this story. Our sister station in Houston reports that Watson is also a UTSA student. We've all heard the call to conserve water in this drought, but now some neighbors on the north side are questioning how quickly the San Antonio water system is handling leaks. They tell the Night Team's John Paul Barajas they reported a leak for months before SAWS responded.
Water shooting up like a geyser. It's evidence of a major leak in this north side neighborhood where people living nearby say they've seen water run down their street for months.
I mean, this is hundreds of gallons thousands that have been wasted.
It didn't take this San Antonio water system crew long to get the leak near Pebble Peak and Pebble Breeze under control. But neighbors say they called SAWS several times since May and haven't seen crews until Monday.
Like the last week of May, before Memorial Day, and I hadn't noticed it originally, and when I came home one night from work, I thought it was us.
Neighbors explain SAWS told them the leak is from a city-owned water meter. The people we spoke to say their bills have not spiked and water pressure has remained steady.
I'm out hand watering every night when I get home from work, just to keep the landscaping alive, so, you know, trying to stay compliant, but at the same time looking over there going, you know, come on, guys.
Given the current drought conditions with stage 2 water restrictions, watching water run down the street is frustrating for many and leaving a drastic difference between neighbors' lawns and where the water ends up.
I wish my yard looked like this.
We asked SAWS about the leak and its response. Its statement reads in part, "We are having challenges with escalating breaks and leaks. They are running higher than in recent years. We are working hard with 52 crews working 24/7, as well as with 2 external contractors."
I understand 2-3 weeks. I understand that. But when it goes over that, there's a problem. We're going to get charged for it some way or the other. Our rates will go up because of the water waste, and it just seems like an easy fix.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look at active water leaks on the SAWS website right now. According to this map, there are 175 water leaks pending investigation. Confirmed leaks, those are broken down into priority groups. That includes 5 priority 1 leaks. According to SAWS, they're considered an emergency because they're causing property damage or a water service outage. If possible, those are repaired the same day. Now, priority 2 leaks, those are not associated with damage or an outage, but they do cause water loss. There are 13 of those. SAWS estimates most of those repairs are done within 3 days. SAWS says priority 3 leaks cause low to moderate water loss with water pooling or running down a street, and those repairs can take 1 to 2 weeks. Meantime, look outside with live cam. We know how dry it is out there. We all know to abide by the restrictions. The fire danger is high. But Adam, somebody out there saw a nice change with a little bit of rain somewhere.
Yeah, a little bit of rain west of town. Even right now, we have a few showers west of town. But I want to start with the fact that our weather pattern will be shifting by this time next week, opening the door for some disturbances aloft and the chance of a few showers. Right now, that's only at 10 to 20%. But that's better than nothing. Okay, let's get to the good news here and what we just had today. Even right now, just north of Brackettville, some areas of heavy rain, a little bit of lightning and thunder associated with it. Honestly, these shouldn't last much longer but they have already broken the mold, so I'd probably give them another 45 minutes or so headed toward Highway 90. Not far from Brackettville and Laughlin Air Force Base. And this is a part of south central Texas that had some showers earlier today, even into Valverde County. Rural parts of Valverde County, nearly an inch of rain. Up the Devil's River, north of Lake Amistad. You can see the blues and greens on the screen here indicating where we got rainfall and the corresponding numbers, the Doppler radar estimates from our authority radar. Just over an inch actually estimated from a few of those downpours north of Brackettville. So that's nice to see. Here's the big picture, though. Before we get into the extended forecast, we got to talk about what's happening now and then how this is going to change. The heat high, the upper level, big blue H, centered over Colorado right now. So it's not directly overhead. It's going to move more so directly overhead. And in turn, our hottest temperature is going to be on Thursday. Actually, Thursday, likely the hottest temperature so far this summer. We're expecting 107, and should that verify, it would be a record for the day, but the hottest so far this year. But the heat high plants itself far to the north. That opens the door for disturbances to come in. Once it's centered overhead, like it was earlier this summer, it blocks everything away from us. But the steering flow is from the east, and it does look like we could tap into a weak disturbance moving across the Gulf of Mexico early next week and then into far south Texas, bringing with it some tropical moisture and a bit of energy. Now, with this, the way it looks at the moment is most of that moisture and energy would be south of us, south of San Antonio, especially from Laredo to Corpus Christi down towards Brownsville. Of course, this can change. It is still very far away. That upper disturbance hasn't even come together yet, so we're not even measuring it yet. And I know you will see online and on social media some posts about potential tropical development in the Gulf of Mexico. That's the very low-end chance over the next 7 days. Right now, it just looks like an upper disturbance. We'll keep an eye on it. As I showed you before, it just reintroduces that low-end chance, about 20% by this time next week, of some rain. Let's talk temperatures. 103 here in San Antonio today. That's 1 degree shy of the record set back in 2020, and not triple digits everywhere. Look off to the north. 90s because of that weak cold front we had move through today. Helped kickstart those showers west of town, kept some parts of Texas actually in the 90s, including Dallas and Midland and areas to the north of us. But around here, we were triple digits. And that marks our 50th 100-degree day and our 17th in a row, which puts us in second place on that run to 21 for consecutive 100-degree days. Tomorrow, 75 in the morning, 95 at noon, 104 the high temperature, which would be a record by a degree. Divine 105, Utopia 103, Seguin 104, and Nixon 106. Hey, Myra, I mentioned that Thursday 107. That would be the hottest so far this year and another record. And we'll keep you updated on those rain chances because it's a fluid situation.
Haha, I see what you did there. All right, thanks, Adam. Okay, let's turn to sports now. Some bad news for Cowboys fans. Micah Parsons with an injury.
Yeah, Micah Parsons has been the best player at Cowboys training camp. There's really not anybody even close to him out there. Today, he had to end practice early because of an injury. We'll have an update on the Lion. Plus, this is it for UTSA quarterback Frank Harris coming up.
Yeah, I think that's it kind of all came together when they got to come back to Dallas, and we got to spend some of that face-to-face time and kind of hammer this thing out.
Zach Martin says a recent face-to-face meeting with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones led to his reworked deal and him reporting to training camp in Big Board Sports.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
All right, it's difficult to see, but this is Cowboys star linebacker Micah Parsons down on the ground and holding his left leg at training camp today in Oxnard, California. It's being reported that he missed the final 11 plays of the first team red zone work and later was seen limping. Micah told reporters he got kicked in the leg and will have the injury checked out. Parsons had his left calf wrapped and he did not return. He said, quote, "It's just something that happened to me. It's football. I'm not worried about it," end quote. Meanwhile, right guard Zach Martin reported to training camp yesterday and went through individual drills today. He missed the first 3 weeks at training camp because he was unhappy with his contract. He met with Jerry Jones before the boys' preseason opener Saturday, and 2 days later, a new deal was announced. That will guarantee him $36 million over the next 2 seasons. The deal takes him from the 8th highest paid guard in the NFL to the 3rd, and his teammates are thrilled he's back.
Yeah, no, it was great. I said my head hurt last night because I was smiling and laughing so much all day. You know, I don't think I stopped talking from the moment I got here till I went to bed. So it was great to see these guys. You know, 3 weeks doesn't seem that long, but when you're sitting in Dallas in 110-degree heat every day, seeing your guys out there having fun at training camp, it seems a little bit longer than it is.
And actor Kevin Costner stopped by Cowboys camp today and watched the action from both the field and the tower. He's been showing up in Oxnard for years. UTSA quarterback Frank Harris was named to the Manning Award watch list. He's also been named to the Davey O'Brien Award, Maxwell Award, and Walter Camp Player of the Year Award watch list. Entering his final collegiate season, he's pretty much got the keys to the car. KSAT 12 Sports' Mary Rominger has more.
Larry, there's no telling what UTSA football can accomplish with a healthy Frank Harris, who returns to the program for his 7th season. Fall camp is coming to a close, and head coach Jeff Traylor says the left-hander is throwing the football the best he's seen him throw it.
He just knows the offense so well. He's got total control of it. I mean, literally. I know I've kind of, each year we've given him more and more and more and more, but like he really has it all now. He'll check any play he wants to, protection. He's put the game plan in for all I care.
I'm feeling great. You just cherish all the moments, you know, all the grind, all the camaraderie, being with each other all day long. I know I'm going to miss it, you know, when next year comes around.
ESPN revealed its preseason top 100 college football player rankings, and Harris is listed at number 32, higher than any other player out of the state of Texas. Mary Rominger, KSAT 12 Sports.
Thank you, Mary. And here's UTSA Athletics' first ever Hall of Fame class, and it's a good one. Marcus Davenport, Lynn Hickey, Larry Coker, Mackenzie Adams, Devin Brown, and Tamika Roberts. A class of 6 will be inducted during homecoming weekend in late October. The NBA released its complete schedule for group play of the inaugural NBA in-season tournament, which tips off in early November. The West is made up of 3 groups, just like the East. Now, the 6 group winners and 2 wildcards will advance to the knockout rounds. Wemby and the Spurs are the only team that has more than 2 of its 4 group play games on ESPN and TNT. Thank you, Wemby. So the Spurs' first Group C play game is Friday, November 10th versus Minnesota at home. They'll play at OKC on Tuesday, November 14th. They'll host Sacramento Friday the 17th, and will close out group play on Friday, November 24th at Golden State. San Antonio Missions are back home, and we got it after the break. The Houston Astros closing out a 3-game series at the Marlins tonight. Top 7 tied at 5. Kyle Tucker hits a no doubt about it to right field, measuring 422 feet to put the Astros on top for good. Tucker is hitting .333 versus left-handed pitchers this season. Man, so the Astros win 6-5, taking 2 or 3, and the Rangers beat the Angels tonight 7-3. Out at the Wolf, the Missions open up a 6-game homestand with Midland, part of a 12-game homestand for San Antonio. Top of the 2nd inning, runner on second for the Rockhounds. And 2 down when Missions pitcher Gabe Mosser gets the batter to strike out to end the inning. Top 3, the batter sends a shot right to second baseman Ripken Reyes, who dives and throws a runner out at first base. Very nice. There was no score after 3 when we left, and the Rockhounds win it by a final of 6-2.
All right. Thank you, Larry.
You got it.
We'll be right back. Before you go, check this out. It's every Tim Burton fan's dream. A new exhibit coming to the McNay Art Museum celebrates the 30th anniversary of Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Visitors can step into Halloween Town beginning August 17th. You can read more about Dreamland on KSAT.com.
Here's a look at the ERCOT supply and demand forecast. Thursday is going to be a close call around 7 p.m. They're forecasting just enough supply. It's a good idea to conserve.
Have a good night.